Growing up in Minnesota, my first memories were being in and around the Twin Cities and going to Gopher games and watching hockey, playing hockey.
A lot of noise, a lot of activity, always with 3 boys. We had a lot of fun times together.
Oh, the Walton household. It was interesting. I am very proud of all 3 of my sons. John, from the time he was a little boy, all he ever wanted to do was be a hockey broadcaster. And our youngest son, Mike, is a lawyer. Our middle son, Scott, became a commercial pilot.
I don't remember a time when Scotty wasn't there. We were very close. Scotty was a goalie. Hockey was always something that he really enjoyed too. He was a better player than I was. I hate to admit that, but it's true. Scotty was not just the glue of our family, but he probably had the best sense of humor of anybody I've ever met.
He had such a zest for life, and he made the most of every minute.
I wasn't sure Scotty was ever going to get married, and when he met Lisa, that definitely changed. And they have 3 beautiful girls, and he loved being a girl dad. Scott was a medical pilot. He was, I think, born to do that. He just felt like that was his calling. He wanted to help people, and he wanted to fly airplanes.
He saved many children. His favorites were the premature babies. Some were only 4 hours old, and he would race them so they could get to Children's Hospital. And in fact, his final words to me were, "Mom, this is what I was meant to do." My daughter-in-law had called me that morning, Scott's wife, and told me the horrible news.
The NTSB tells us the plane was leaving Reno and headed for Salt Lake City when it broke apart mid-air. All 5 people on board were killed. Scott Walton, a longtime pilot, was flying the plane.
I got the call from my mother. She said that his plane had gone down and that he'd been killed. And you can't prepare yourself for that. It was probably the hardest day of my life. I knew what he did was potentially dangerous, but with any first responders, like, you just don't maybe appreciate the risk involved unless something like this happens.
Losing a child, no matter how old that child is, I think is one of the hardest things that people have to do. Knowing that he saved as many lives as he did is very gratifying, of course, for us. We just wish we hadn't lost him.
Well, it's a somber and emotional day for the entire community as a public memorial was held for the crew members who died in the Care Flight plane crash last month.
Hundreds of first responders, friends, family, and community members came together.
The crash certainly gave us a whole new perspective about first responders and their importance and the sacrifices they make.
There is something in the DNA of a first responder. Never forget that when duty calls, they respond.
Not only was he doing what he loved, but it was with purpose. And that's what we should all strive for, I think.
This is the final call for Care Flight 56. You answered the call and made the ultimate sacrifice. You will never be forgotten.
See you, John Walton. Connor McMichael and I went to the firehouse in Chinatown. I think it does, for me, bring that closeness that I had with my brother back a little bit more local. Very nice to meet you. You guys gotta be one of the busiest in the city.
A good busy day here could be 15, 20 runs a day.
The difficulty, the sacrifice that they have, what they have to see, what they have to deal with, you can't really know that until you do that job.
Every shift, you never know what's it's going to be. Anytime you come to work, you can lose your life.
It's part of the job, right? So,
you know, knowing now what that feels like, and knowing family around them that they love and they go off to work every day, you know, they're just hoping that they come home safe too. That's a height of humanity that I can't tell you how much I have so much respect for that.